guy who said you don't think he attended high school.
Yeah, she says he went to her high school and that he was a football player, but I don't think he can read, so I don't know.
Can you rephrase that statement? Like, this
Yeah.
guy we call the trash can man. But
Yeah, so...
whatever, just make it like one quick type fit.
Yeah, so Deb dated the guy that we refer to as Trash Can Man, apparently, you know, in high school, if he indeed ever attended high school or has a GED or can read at a 5th grade level.
Cool. Do you have any other, like, past boyfriend stories? And I'm curious myself, why was he called Trash Can Man?
Deb told me that I'm not allowed to use the word that got him the... Can I say it and you can edit it out?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we used to, in college, sadly and meanly, slightly, I guess it would be bullying Debbie, and jokingly refer to her as the last American virgin when we were seniors in college. And she had seen this guy for the weekend and, you know, came back and reported that she had done the deed, and there were a group of us around that she was telling us, and we were so disappointed and disgusted because he was so horrible that the next thing that came out of my mouth was, Debbie, that's just like fucking a trash can. So from that point on, everyone referred to him as Trash Can Man.
Why doesn't she want you to use it if she's a virgin?
She what?
She don't want you to use what word, like virgin?
Fucking a trash can.
Oh, that's great. We could bleep that out if she don't mind.
I could care less. I told her that if I wasn't allowed to say it, she had to come up with a synonym for the term fucking a trash can.
You can do beep, the trash can.
Yep.
Um,
That guy was like the worst guy ever. He called her one time. He went AWOL from whatever armed force he was in. I want to say it was the Marines, but I don't remember. So he went AWOL from the Marines, and the armed forces were calling her, trying to locate him, which is like a pretty serious thing. And when they finally caught this fool, he was had like a bunch of marijuana strapped, like duct taped to his under his shirt, and she had, of course, you know, bail him out if she even was able to bail him out for that. And he fed her the story that he did it on purpose because he knew he would get discharged if they caught him with an illegal substance. So, like, he did it on purpose. And she kind of, like, fell for that, and we all yelled at her. And then another time he was arrested for possession with intent to sell. And she was actually telling us that she didn't believe that he had an intent to sell because he didn't even have drugs on him. And, you know, our friends, we were sitting there like, Debbie, he didn't have drugs on him yet or anymore. He had them at one point. He had just either not gotten them or had already sold them when he was arrested. And then another time she told us that he was arrested for drugs, but it was only the legal drugs that he had. Like, he had, like, a trench coat and opened it up and had, like, Advil and Tylenol. And then she said, well, no, it was some, like, Native American drug. I'm like, Debbie, like, peyote's only good when they want it to rain. Like, there's really no reason to have that when you're, you know, a white kid from Cherry Hill. Like, she just... Yeah, it was just a sad, sad 3 years of her life.
Are you happy that Deb is out in LA, or do you think she should come back, or would it help her dating relation?
I want her to come back every time there's a natural disaster in Los Angeles, like wildfires and earthquakes and tsunami warnings and things like that. I don't know how she would... I don't know how Debbie would function moving back to Jersey. I mean, this is now a girl who is perma-blonde, perma-tanned, probably wears high heels to run. I don't see the transition being good for her. And she threatens it every once in a while when she breaks up with somebody that she's just going to move home, but I don't think you can find someone, you know, in Jersey or in California any easier. I think that you can, you know, find a person anywhere if you're looking for the right person.
I'm from Philadelphia, by the way, but I always think, well, maybe I should move back.
Don't come back.
I'm in a relationship, though.
saying you're from Jersey and, you know, not having big hair and having, like, everything you own bedazzled and smelling like booze all the time kind of makes no sense to most of the people in the country.
Yeah.
She would fit in that regard, maybe. She does like to bedazzle.
Let's see, let me get back to my question. What type of guy do you see Deb with?
That would work?
Yeah, like...
I think Deb needs...
And then, like, pause for a second and then tell me, like, emotionally or whatever.
Okay. I think Deb needs to find herself a good, straight-up nerd. She needs to find somebody that has a job that they're engaged with that is outside of the entertainment industry. And she needs to find somebody who is not in competition with her for anything that is physical or monetary. She tends to date people who need her because she's hot and blonde, has a great job, and makes good money. She needs to find somebody that's content in their own life and, you know, doesn't see those things as a status symbol.
Great. Perfect. Does Deb need to change?
No. No. Debbie does not need to change. Debbie is one of the most perfect people that I know. She is the kindest, most caring person that I can possibly think of in my head. She was raised correctly. She has, you know, she lost her mom at a young age, but she has her dad. Her relationship with her dad is good. Every time she does something ridiculous, I threaten to tell him because I know that that means something to her. No, Debbie does not need to change. Debbie is good the way that Debbie is. She needs to find somebody that doesn't want to be her or change her.
Why do you think she's never found this right? Like, why do you think she goes for the wrong guy?
I think that she has the I can fix somebody thing. I think that Debbie struggled a long time with not realizing that she was as hot as she was. I don't think quite realized that she was attractive. I think that 32 was a defining age for her. That's kind of like, if I was thinking back, when I was thinking about like this whole thing and the questions you were going to ask, I think that it took Debbie until she was 32 to realize that she had value and was an attractive person. So I think that until that period of time, she was going to date anyone that found her attractive because she didn't think she was. And then I think 32 was a defining point for her, and now she kind of dates people that see her status. And I think that
I see Deb now, and she's, like, really hot.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. She's like that in college?
No.
Or is she heavy?
No. So she told me I was allowed to say this, so I'm going to say it.
Okay.
But Debbie was, of our group of friends, Debbie was kind of the chubby one that never wore makeup. As blonde as Debbie is now, she is a natural blonde, but it was a very dark blonde. It was an unhighlighted blonde. She never wore makeup. We used to, and it's a sad thing to joke about because it's mean, but she literally had, like, every eating disorder known to man. Like, she would go days and weeks without eating anything but lettuce and then gorge on a 5-pound pan of lasagna. One time, one of our roommates called me and said that she had been sleeping with saran wrap on to try to sweat off some weight. Like, she's a strange bird.
I have to say it again. I'm trying to hold back. But in case my laugh is in there.
Yeah, Debbie, one time in college, actually slept with saran wrap on. And I say one time, and it probably happened more than once, but one time that we're aware of, she slept with saran wrap on to try to sweat off weight. They're literally, like, we used to say, like, there's literally no clinical definition for your eating disorder. Like, we've sat her down so many times when we were, you know, in college and younger after college and, you know, before, I guess, you know, real life started. And she, there was no really definition for the weird things that she would do. She was just